Yo! Dogecoin Live.
Welcome back to Bloomberg Business Week. I'm Carol Masser.
And I'm Jason Kelly. You can also find us online at tweetweek.com.
And on our mobile app. In the business section, huge news this week, Jason. Of course, we were all over this. Elon Musk tweeting that he was prepared to take his company private.
But getting out of the public spotlight may not solve all of his problems.
Indeed. We got more from editor Max Chapkin.
Elon Musk is, a master of the product launch. We've sort of gotten used to him coming out with these crazy new ideas and kind of impressing everybody. The latest crazy new idea is a kind of unprecedented buyout of Tesla. It would be the biggest buyout in history if it actually happened.
So take us back to what led to this decision, as best you can tell, knowing the company like you do and knowing Elon and his, shall we say, idiosyncrasies as a CEO.
Well, that's what's so funny about this. I was chatting with a friend last night. I said, oh, maybe there's a book here. And then I said, well, it'd be a very short book because it was just a tweet. Elon basically logged onto Twitter and said, I'm considering buying the company, $4.20 a share, funding secured. Just those two words, funding secured. And, in the immediate aftermath, there was a lot of question, even from, relatively serious Wall Street analysts, whether it was a joke. The 420 reference caused some people to think, oh, maybe he'd been hacked, or Elon has kind of a slightly juvenile sense of humor. Maybe that was what was going on. And then over the course of several hours, information trickled out both via Twitter and finally from a statement from Tesla to make it clear that yes, this is serious. The board then released a statement saying that they had the first discussion last week, but even last week, so we're talking maybe a 7-day period, is much less time than would normally be, that would normally take to do one of these big deals. When Dell, bought out his company, when Michael Dell bought out Dell Computer, this was a months-long process. There were subcommittees, there were 4 or 5 law firms, there were bankers, all sorts of different people, working in this kind of very, carefully choreographed ballet of, corporate subcommittees, and Musk just does this, with a few characters.
Can Musk do this better?
Tesla better by being a private company?
That's his point of view, and that's when you read the statement that he released, which was basically an email to Tesla employees. The idea is, this is going to be a way to operate distraction free. He does
that with SpaceX, right?
It works very well for SpaceX, and I think there's an argument to be made. Tesla is very polarizing. There is this huge, and very vocal community of short sellers that maybe this would be a way to sort of do an end around. The thing is, there are a few problems with that. One is, if you announce the biggest buyout in history via tweet, and you're saying that's going to reduce distractions, maybe in the long run, but in the short run, now you've created this huge distraction. This is going to be a huge media story that's going to go on for weeks.
But we're not talking about the debt on the balance sheet or the need to raise cash necessarily. So
or the rate at which they're making cars.
Right, and well, that's the other thing. I mean, one of the great things about being a public company is it's very easy to raise additional funding, and that's something that Tesla has needed. Historically, it also appears they're going to need even more of it. So if Tesla was having a hard time raising capital, before Elon Musk decided, somebody was going to need to spend $82 billion or up to $82 billion to buy this company, how are they going to, how are you going to come up with that kind of cash?
But has he changed the conversation now all of a sudden to, okay, we're not worried about the cash raise anymore, we're not worried about the debt, we're not worried about the production levels of the Model 3. We're now like, oh, another way that he could move this company going forward.
Well, and yes, absolutely, and even for the short sellers. So if nothing happens here, if it kind of starts to look like maybe there isn't really a partner, or just this drags out for months and months. Anybody who wants to short the stock now has to contend with the fact that there is this possibility, and it's not. It's a very real possibility that the company will be sold for $420 a share. So now it creates additional risk for any short sellers, even if it doesn't happen. So you got to think that could push some shorts to want to cover their positions and get out.
So we've got a little bit more on Tesla. I'm here with Taylor Riggs. And Taylor, we know Elon Musk likes to use Twitter, and we know people like to use Twitter to comment on Elon Musk and Tesla.
Well, and fortunately for us, there's a terminal function that can track that on the Bloomberg, so we can track all things Twitter. We have a really cool thing coming here. We are tracking Twitter sentiment. So in the top line, we have the share price, and in blue, this is sort of the number of tweets that mention the company Tesla. On the bottom here, I have sentiment, sort of if the tweets feel positive or if they feel negative. And you can see here, Tuesday around noon, 1 p.m., Elon Musk started tweeting about the company that he'd secured funding, perhaps. You saw a big rise in the share price going up, closing in on that $420 mark that he was wondering if he...
All right. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's get right into it, guys. Okay, so, the past few weeks have been crazy. It's been dropping like a rock. Dogecoin, excuse me. So, when I first started doing these videos, I thought the floor was right around 0.00326. Okay, well, I changed that about a week ago to 0.00236. Now it's dipped a little bit under that once or twice on this ticker. So I decided to do a map, and I'm not going to show you the full map yet, but I'm going to show you what I think is going to occur. And basically this past Wednesday I made this, and basically right before this started going up, I made this design here. Now I didn't know it was gonna go back up right there on what was it, the 8th, but I made this. I'm the green line. My prediction is the green line. So right now it's following it pretty good. There was an early spike that occurred for shorters. If you happen to have got in somehow at 0.0023, you might have sold at 0.0026 if you had a big enough position. Now let's say you're in deep and you're all freaking out about this. Well, don't. One thing you can do to alleviate your issues is to, let's say you have some more money you want to put in. Alright, well, buy at the floor that's either coming up or if you think so, existing now, buy now, and then you know, if your position's high enough, you'll be able to sell at a 2%, maybe 5% gain. 5% gain is going to be tough to get, but if your position and the amount that you put in is big enough, you could probably swing 2% and come out okay. Me, I can't. I'm in deep. I bought in. My average now is way up here at 0.35. Yeah, I'm way up here. So this is a learning experience for me too. So I made this map. I'm gonna show it to you now. Since the beginning, I went all the way back to 2017, and made this little disaster I call a map. So I'm going to try to explain some of it to you. The first thing I want to get into is this red pink area. This is where I think it's going to be in the short run. I think it's going to stay within this red area. Right here at this big spike you see that's coming up. This is important. I'm using a algorithm of last year to make this assessment. This is theory number 11. I have 12 theories. I'm not going to go through them all. Theory number 11 is the theory that it's going to pretty much copy last year's spikes and dips, but everything's going to be almost double. Almost. So we're not quite double right now from last year. Last year at this time we were right around 0.0018. So we should be in the 36 range right now, but we're not. So you know, I'm going on averages here. So this big area right here is the foreseeable line that it should stay within. This purple and green area is the hike, the spike chance at September 1st. Now, if it goes above my average, that is great because that's what I predicted. Now, my prediction keeps on going past that all the way to January. But we're going to focus on this short, we're going to focus on right now, which is more advisable when you're trying to make short profits. Now I'm going to have quite a jump here in September myself, and I'm trying not to make that control my prediction assessments. But so far, in the last couple of days, I've been successful judging what it's going to do. Now I think the bottom here is right around 0.00, and on this map I'm saying 0.0024, but it's actually 0.00236. Now the very bottom floor that I have adjusted here for the 24th, right before the big spike, that I think will occur within a couple of days. So a couple of days of the 25th to September 5th, I think we'll have that gain, and there will be sales throughout this and buys. People will be freaking out. Lots of people will be buying, trying to catch a spike. So I think it'll continue up, and then at some point it's going to fall again like a rock, like it does, because you know, people make their profits, they get out and they get back in later. I'm not going to get into theory number 12, which is basically bots controlling this algorithm we're getting since last year. And then theory number 9 basically big conglomerates, billionaires controlling the fluctuations in this market since last year and beyond. I'm not going to get into them. We're going to just, I'm just going to hang out today. I'm not going to talk much, but I'm going to sit here and watch this. I think there's going to be another small spike that will make people happy right around the 15th. So right around midweek next week. And this is all speculation, so invest at your own risk. If you follow me at this point, you'll probably be really bad off. So make your own judgment calls. As you can see, it goes up and down. That's what we want. We want it down, and then you want a buying area, and then you want it to go up, and then you want it to go down, so you get another buying chance, and you want it to go up. So that's what we want to have occur, so you can make profits in the short run. We're getting ready to come into a lull, if judging by last year. This dead zone that lasted, almost all the way up until December. Let's hope this don't occur. But if it does, try to be ready for it by resetting your position coming up at the end of this month. Watch it closely. I don't know what's going to happen. And I hope you're enjoying my phone in the top left corner there. It hasn't locked up yet. This will probably be short because I picked a heck of a time during the day. My internet gets real slow about 5, so it's 3:30. Yes, this is an iPhone SE up in the top left corner. Fairly cheap phone. Works good. And that's where we're at there. Right now I'm down like 400 bucks. I have bought some more recently, not much. I'm pretty tight right now. Let's see. Let's get all the way back over here. All right. We're gonna just let this fly for a little while. Might click on some news over here on the headlines. Let's see. After mine hardware set to launch in September. $18 billion from a fundraiser? Show. Well, I'm sure there's tons of news out there. Tons of news. As you can see Bitcoin went back up last night. It was running almost at 6,000, and then daggone it, that thing went right back up to 6,400 in a blink of an eye. Dodge volumes are kind of low. I've seen one where it's still in top 50 on volume. It was actually number 50 on coin market right here, crypto compare. It's all the way down to 73rd, but that volume it varies. So as this goes up, right now we're at a pretty low market cap price for all the coins. I did see, and I can't find it again, I did see where this past week, Dogecoin, the 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 circulation amount went up by a billion, 116 billion. I've been trying to find that again and confirm it. That is something. And something else I noticed on, if you're following Robinhood, the Robinhood app, if you have that, like I do here, I noticed last Sunday that during maintenance time every day, it used to spike, dip down, because Robinhood had it set a hair higher than the market average on other tickers. Now, since Sunday, it spikes up during maintenance, and they've lowered the amount in comparison to the market average, which is odd. It gives you better buying opportunities, but selling's not so much. I don't know what to think about that, but I do know that the only crypto that spikes or dips during the maintenance times is Dogecoin. Still don't know what to make of that. I haven't seen too many comments about that. Interesting though. Anyway, you know, I'm gonna let this run in the background. You might hear some noises. That's me watching Star Trek still. I have so many, you know, I'm just relaxing. I did just get my first scythe this week, which is a farming tool, and boy is that thing awesome. If you got brush and areas where you just really don't want to use a weed eater, daggone, that scythe is awesome. So that's what I was doing earlier. But right now, I'm going to watch the market, and I don't know if you know, let me see if you hear sound. Let me see, where's my control? Alright, let's see what happens.
Except that we had 3 sons, and the llama flies grew to be 6 centimeters long.
Yeah, y'all can barely hear it. And it looks like I am. Now, if the picture is grainy, it will be fixed after this loads up. So you can come back later and watch it again if you want to see it in high res. I noticed that's a problem going live for me. So I'm going to let this fly, and I'm just going to sit here. Maybe I'll see some news. I might stop and start talking again. And we'll just watch, see what happens.
There's no life form in the tube above us. We're getting out of here. Are you all right?
Yes. Disgusting. But all right.
It's the same useless compound we saw in the transporter room. Come on.
What is it?
Human life signs. Very faint. 30 or more.
Where are they coming from?
Several decks above us. I can't pinpoint the location.
Maybe the crew's hiding from the aliens and they set up a defense perimeter.
Maybe. One thing's for sure. Whoever's up there, they're still alive. Once we get the main computer online, we'll be able to get a fix on their location.
So hot. My head is spinning.
You've got high fever, fluid in your lungs. That alien compound is acting quickly. Try to hang on. Just 3 more days.
Hi, Captain.
I'm not going to leave you here nameless.
I can't. I'm so dizzy.
There should be an emergency medical kit up that tube. I'll bring back something to get you on your feet. Don't go away. Catherine Janeway of the Federation Starship Voyager to anyone within range. My ship has been seized by unknown life forms. Require any and all assistance.
Okay, sadly, I'm gonna go ahead and end this now. Y'all have your own ways of watching tickers. I'm just doing this, and hopefully, maybe I get a subscriber or two. And trying to get my my views up to 10,000 on my channel. That will monetize my channel. You know, I had to stop making comic book videos for now. That may change in the future. I can't even predict when I'm going to be able to get me another PC. I do want a nice one this time, so I'll probably wait till next year, as I am trying to pay off my mortgage. And at the same time, I'm trying to make some money playing with crypto. Mainly Dodge, but I do have ETH. I have some Litecoin, I have Bitcoin, I have Steam, I have BitShares, and a few others. So, you know, I'm playing. That's all I'm doing. So I hope you play along and make better investment choices than I have. But we should all come out ahead if we all pretty much follow the rhythm of the game. Buy in low and sell high. So with that said, I'm going to end it here, and let's see if I can't put a little ending screen up. Let's see. You know, I used to do these Starman videos. I don't have my latest one on this computer, sadly. But just to let you know, I got Bitcoin predictions. I'll go ahead, I'll show this occasionally. I'll go ahead and show you basically this year, August. My prediction was about 7,000. That's what it started out at in August. Basically the low was going to be 55, which it hasn't hit yet, thank goodness. It's going to close this month right around 6 grand. We will have it will go up past 7,000 hopefully right around the end of the month. September is going to be a doozy, but I think it will eclipse the 7,000 mark pretty easily. October is when I think Bitcoin will start going up and having really good returns for people if you bought in during this time. So wait it out. You know, I don't think it's going to eclipse 10,000 at the end of the year. I think it's going to wait until right around February, and I think that's when Dogecoin is going to take off too, and it's going to keep on going up. So right around this time next year, we're going to be sitting pretty and always be at least 0.005 or higher. So have hope and keep it real, you know. Let's see. Let's do a little end here. Yes, it failed all right because I can't make any more than videos. So hopefully, if you haven't seen my Starman videos, you can check it out and watch a couple of them. And you know, it's a little time waster. You know, maybe you'll laugh, maybe you'll see like a minute of it and get disgusted. I don't know. It's an old comic book that I loved. I have the whole series and all the offshoot runs that I collected, and eventually I will make a movie out of all of them. So peace out, guys, and let's hope my predictions are correct and this occurs starting right around August 25th ish. Now don't set that in stone. It could be 5 or 6 days off from last year. Last year it was right around September 1st, so we will see. I'm thinking it's going to start taking off right around this time, and I have this little graph. I am green. My prediction line is green, and yellow is the actual line itself. So y'all have a lot of fun playing with crypto, because I sure am. And I'll see you again next week. Peace out.